Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Opinion Stated, where I give unfiltered, opinionated sports takes. Let's go. Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic. I want to welcome you back to my channel, Opinion Stated. Before I jump into this particular content, you kick your feet up and get ready. I want to just encourage you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel. Also, click that notification bell to be notified of when my newest videos are uploaded. Really, really fun episode today. I've personally done about 6 videos to my count on or around the subject of Bronny James, and ran into a bit of copyright issues with a few of those videos. So I want to just kind of compress them all into one video. It's going to be perhaps about an hour long, and hopefully, or we'll take a deeper look into it. I'll see if, because this has been over the course of about a month and a half or so, if I still agree with some of my views from those. So I'm going to do something a little bit different, where I just kind of do like a reaction all in one of all 6 of those videos. I have my hookah, an energy drink that I'm not being paid to sponsor, and also some popcorn. So I don't know what your situation looks like over there, but get ready, get ready, get ready. This particular episode, I am going to entitle Taking a Deeper Look into the Bronny Files. It's going to start with the first of this 6 series of videos that I have completed and posted so far on the channel. And the first video that we're going to explore is my very first video that I posted on the subject of Bronny, and that actual episode was entitled Bronny James Proving He's NBA Worthy. Let's take a listen to that episode. Yo, what's good? Welcome back to my channel. I am Your Opinion is Cosmic. Just want to jump right into this one. A lot of chatter about young Bronny James, son of NBA great, the legendary LeBron James. So Bronny LeBron James Jr. Has been making waves social media wise, and even in the mainstream media, since his high school playing days. A lot of fanfare. Went on to USC to play last season. During a workout, he suffered a cardiac arrest, and the young brother literally, his heart stopped beating. So, you know what I mean? Like literally died on the court. Needed to be revived, and thankfully, after surgery on a what was recognized as a defect, a heart defect, was able to get back into the gym and play and actually suit up for USC this previous basketball season. He did not have the best year, clearly, as a freshman basketball player at USC. And, or for those of you who don't know, LeBron James has been very vocal over the years about, the potential of playing with his son, being teammates with him, playing in the league with him, sticking around long enough over the last couple of years, mentioning sticking around long enough to play in the league alongside his son, as kind of another one of those dream come true things for him, or goals. And it's noble. I don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting to do that. A lot of us take our kids in, if we're fortunate enough to build companies and things of that nature, to bring our kids into the business that we're into, to work alongside them. So it's a noble goal, I'll say. Initially, I was kind of against this idea of how things have played out. Bronny leaving USC this season to enter the NBA draft, because I'm like, wait, he doesn't deserve it. Like, man, this dude doesn't deserve to be drafted in the NBA. He only averaged 5 points as a USC, freshman guard. Certainly there's so many other individuals who who've earned the right to be drafted, but is being drafted an actual right. Um, it's not. I think that obviously my opinion about this has changed a bunch. Given respect to Bronny James and how hard he's worked to get himself back into basketball shape and into basketball form. For those who may not know, he is participating in the NBA Combine for the incoming draft class for this particular season, or the end of the season when the draft will take place, and he's doing fairly well. So again, my opinion about this has changed because how dare we take this position? Not we. You can do whatever you want, but I guess I recognize more in myself that I was taking this position where it's almost like I'm denying a person the opportunity to work. You can't deny a person the opportunity to join the workforce because you don't think they're qualified if somebody's willing to hire them. So in my opinion, Bronny James, um, as he is holding his own, if he continues to hold his own, and other individuals, scouts and organizations see enough value in him to spend a draft pick on him, to bring him into their organization, to help develop him as a young basketball player, thinking that he can help to benefit their organization long term. Man, all props to that organization and to young Bronny James. I watched his press conference. Quite frankly, the first time I ever even heard him speak. I watched his press conference yesterday after the combine, and I was just very impressed by how poised and how aware the young man is. So I am here for it. I'm all for this young man getting a shot in the NBA if a team is willing to draft him. Again, kudos to every single young ball player who's worked himself to the point, or worked hard in his game to the point of potentially being drafted into the National Basketball Association. I know it's a huge dream come true. I grew up hoop dreaming as well. So I get it, man. To get the opportunity to be one of 400, um, playing in an elite league, I think it's a blessing for whomever, for all of those, who can take a job in the association. So, shout out to Bronny James and to all the young basketball players, man. I wish you guys the absolute best. And man, I'm definitely looking forward to witnessing the journey of young Bronny James beyond all this pre-draft scuttlebutt being kicked around in the media, and just seeing exactly what he becomes as a basketball player. Maybe that's not a perennial all-star, maybe it's not a career, or certainly I doubt that he would have a career as great as his dad's, but to just see him live out his dream, I think is fair. And it's going to be interesting to watch, without judgment. I'm not expecting him to be anything other than Bronny James. And again, hearing that come from him in his own words, I think was very heartwarming for me. And again, in my opinion, I just want to share that my opinion is that he should be drafted. He's draft worthy. He's as draft worthy as anybody else that an organization decides to draft. Right? It's their decision. It's not our decision. I don't care what our opinions are. I don't care what our hangups are. I don't care that we think that based on some of the chatter, that LeBron James is kind of leveraged and put this pressure on organizations to draft him and all these things. It's like none of that stuff is even real at the end of the day. At the end of the day, if an organization decides to take a chance on him, they're taking a chance on every single one of the young draftees, who are entering this particular draft. A lot of times we'll see or witness the college career of a lot of these, basketball players who are thought of to be stars, who may take down honors like, the Associated Press's National Player of the Year, their in their respective conferences to be the Player of the Year, et cetera, and then who make it to the NBA, riding all this fanfare, finally make it to the league and fizzle out. You know what I mean? Or not reach the potential that we expected of them based on their college career. So again, this young man deserves the opportunity to enter the workforce. His particular industry is basketball. And if the highest basketball association in the land, which is the NBA, one organization from this particular association decides to take a shot on that young man, go Bronny, go. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. I'm ready to buy me a Bronny James jersey, not because, again, I think that he's going to be a mega star, but I am affectionate myself to his story, his work ethic, and how he's gotten himself to this point. You got to admit that it's a feel good story. You know what I mean? To have this kid battle back from what he's battled through health wise, to still, fight for his dream. And again, just sharing my opinion that he's draft worthy. You don't have to agree. If you disagree, share your disagreement right there in the comment section. Again, I'm here for it. Thank you guys once again for checking out my channel. This is just my opinion. I'm your opinionist, Cosmic, once again. I'll catch you on the next video. Blessings. And so, guys, as stated, in this Bronny James proves he's draft worthy episode, I think my views hold, the same. I haven't changed them in that regard. I am a fan of any of these young kids who work themselves to the point of gaining interest of any one of these franchises or NBA franchises, hiring them, or any employer hiring any candidate that they feel is the best candidate for the job. They want to, meaning one of these NBA teams, expend a draft pick on, a young player. Who am I to stand in the way of that and say, man, it shouldn't happen, right? If the team wants to do so, they want to do so, So that was that video. For those who haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell to be notified as to when my next videos are uploaded. Getting into the second video in this series of, the Bronny Files, was an episode entitled James Gang Nepotism Aside, It's Annoying. And that was with regards to, the nepotism angle and all the scuttle that came as a result. Many in the mainstream media, many in the independent media space as well, who were either siding or against, the idea of nepotism. We know that nepotism exists and it runs rampant, in just many different spaces. And, everybody kind of has different views or different feelings around it. Whatever those are, they're justified, I guess, or you're entitled to, whatever your position is or your opinion. And for whatever reason, I'm not here to knock you off that perch or to tell you that it's wrong or right or what have you. Your views are your views. But getting into this episode of James Gang Nepotism Aside, It's Annoying. Let's let the video speak for itself. Yo, what's good, everybody? This is Cosmic once again. Thanks for tuning in to Opinion Stated on my channel here. And man, today I really want to jump right into this. I know there is so much chatter on social media and in just, the media space in general surrounding young Bronny James being drafted by the LA Lakers, number 55 overall in the second round in yesterday's draft. Congratulations, first of all, to Bronny James. I want to address, this nepotism angle and everything else that's kind of being painted. But before I do that, I want to have you all listen to, and I do want to say, so just to be clear, before people even view another moment further in this video, I am Team Bronny James. There's another video on my page where I actually talked about, or just posed, an opinion surrounding Bronny James being worthy of a draft pick, being expended on him in this league. So I am Team Bronny 100%. So please don't think that this is a Bronny James or LeBron James hate video, as the media keeps trying to spin this narrative that anybody who is in opposition to the silliness is somehow a hater. It's not hate. We just see right through the foolishness. And before I jump into my opinions on the matter, I want to have you guys take a look at, or take a listen rather, to an audio from none other than one of the funniest, most entertaining, but sometimes clownish individuals on TV. And I'm a fan of Nick Wright also, but man, sometimes he is just so far off his rocker that it's annoying how he conflates arguments, etc. in a single statement, and contradicts himself and then answers his questions. And you'll hear it some in this audio. Take a listen.
Happy moment in LA. Here's Bronny being drafted. Some skepticism in the media. A friend of the show, Vincent Goodwell, had a great article in kind of an incendiary tweet. That's probably too much. I thought the tweet was good. Lakers are a family-run organization, the Buss family, the Randus family, and now the James family. If there's one organization that couldn't thumb its nose at a star wanting this particular wish, it's the Lakers. It can still be cringy, too. Nick, is skepticism around the pick warranted?
I think the coverage of this has been absolutely maddening. Wow. And so disingenuous by so many people.
I buy that.
So, a couple things that no one has ever pretended to care about in the NBA are now hot button issues. The nepotism piece of it. I'm old enough to remember Costas Athanasiou being picks in the 50s or the 60th pick. And not a single person was like, there's a 4-year senior out there who's having his moment stolen because a team wants to kiss up to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Nobody cared. The value of second-round picks. Day before yesterday, Dylan Jones, the 26th pick of the draft, was traded straight up for 5 second-round picks. Last night, the 52nd pick of the draft was traded for cash. About $2 million. Wire it to me. We'll take some in Bitcoin. That's it. No one cares. And now all of a sudden people's obvious, transparent dislike or jealousy or whatever of LeBron has colored this whole thing. Because I guarantee you, if in 15 years, Cannon Curry, Steph's youngest, is a fringe NBA prospect, and the Warriors are like, you know what? It's a good story. I think he's a good kid, and he's got a shot. We have him 71st on our board. We'll draft him 58th. The think pieces aren't coming. Instead, people are like, that's awesome. Yeah. That is super dope. And this should have been celebrated like that.
I think having some skepticism is fair, and you don't need to be maligned. Like, how dare you be skeptical?
No, I don't know. So, but here's the thing. I don't think this is where I think the skeptics. I think there's a bit of straw manning going on. I haven't heard a single person being like, "What a coincidence." Why, that is crazy that happened. That the Lakers happened to draft Bronny James. I haven't heard no one has argued. There has not been a single person out there saying that this is totally unrelated. This is just the player they wanted.
Yeah.
And if no one is
why would somebody say that?
Right. Who would ask that? And why would nobody ask that question? Chris Broussard posted, like, who would say that? Like, who would? Who would be who? And for what reason would they have to pose that kind of a statement surrounding it? LeBron James literally stated a few seasons ago that he made known his interest of playing with his son, his desire to play with his son in this NBA that he has helped to strengthen and to build. And man, it was like, yo, that would be super dope. I'd love to see it as a fan. Like, that would be dope. And then as time has gone on, the story, the actual reality of the story has played out a little bit different in terms of what Bronny has done on the court, what he did when he got to college, his cardiac arrest issue notwithstanding, but him actually playing and then his production amongst his peers in college and how that actually worked itself out. And as it stands, that beyond just his stats, because can we all agree that perhaps Bronny James is much better than his college stats? As a lot of players tend to be much better than their actual college stats or their high school stats or their gym league stats. Stats are just stats, man. So maybe his actual ability to play and his fit on a team will be different. But that's neither here nor there. After this kid's production wasn't quite up to par wasn't nearly up to par in college at USC, step further, after having him actually work out for NBA teams, to be showcased at the NBA Combine for individuals who own teams or manage teams that literally employ that literally employ 400 of the top basketball players in the industry, where the best of the best in that field are actually employed, didn't think him impressive enough to actually expend a draft pick on him. But before that, LeBron James began saying, like, hey, you know, whatever Bronny decides to do, I don't really want to make this about me. It's his decision. We don't necessarily have to play with each other in the same court, et cetera. So it's almost like he was running this damage control, not because the kid wouldn't get picked or he wouldn't be able to use his influence, which we're understanding as nepotism, to get his son drafted or signed to the team that he actually plays for. He knew that it would be a bad look. And we all understood that it's just the optics of it, just kind of weird. Now, do we have a problem with it? No, we do not have a problem with it if it's painted in that way. I have no issue with LeBron James playing with his son and the Lakers actually drafting him as it was initially set up by him saying, man, look, I have a desire to play with my son. So if you just call a spade, man, a spade's a spade. Hey, I just want to play with my son, man. I know it didn't quite work out for him in the draft combine, et cetera, but man, I mean, I'm LeBron James. I'm LeBron James. I'm going to get my son picked up on this mob so that I can play with him and so that we can play together and we can have this magical historical moment. It will be one of the best and greatest things that I could possibly ever wish for in my career at this point, after all the accolades and achievements that he's piled up. Man, that would be noble. And nobody will have a problem with it. But to paint it as though somehow it's not nepotism and I didn't have anything to do with it, when you held, or rather restricted, maybe not LeBron himself, but his representation, which I'm certain he has influence over, not even allow this kid, being Bronny James, to go out and practice or perform in workouts in front of the 30 teams in the NBA who could actually hire him, draft him, sign him. So you're telling me that the employers of the top and everybody in that field, the top 400, you're holding. I'm not going on the interview. You can't go in and work out with them. So you're selective about who he can actually go in and practice and work out for, but you're not manipulating the process of him getting picked up. It's just a silliness. It's an insult to our intelligence. It's an insult to our sensibilities. And that's the problem with it. It has nothing to do with any of us hating or being angry that nepotism was used in this case. We all get it. Don't put lipstick on a pig and tell us it's a lady. It's not a lady. It's a fucking pig with lipstick on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Seriously, it's annoying. It's annoying. So that's my only thing. And I just want to be clear. In my opinion, I do not have an issue with Bronny James being in the NBA if LeBron James leveraged his celebrity and his star power to get him in the league. But don't tell us that it's something different. We understand what it was. And you don't have to justify it by saying, well, nepotism has always existed and everybody else has done it, and why do you have a problem with it now? None of us have a problem with it. It doesn't make it right. Wrong is wrong. So technically, it's wrong. But because it's LeBron, we're like, it's cool. But when you have his agent reaching out to other teams telling them, man, if y'all draft him, well, he's not going to show up. We'll send him over to Australia before he comes and plays for your team. It's like, come on, bro. Like, what's going on here? What's happening here? You've already telegraphed the play. For people who play sports, you understand. When a person telegraphs a play, DBs in football understand it better than anybody else. They're going to pick that ball off and run it the other way. You know what I mean? Hoopers, they start to understand your pattern of dribbling, and what you're doing is 2 dribbles with the right hand before you cross over. They're going to pluck you every time. And they're taking it back to the house the other way. It's a dunk on your head or a layup or a highlight of some kind. Come on, bro. You telegraphed the play for us and you let us know what it was. Don't try to call it something different. It's annoying. That's just my opinion. Bronny James, go, Bronny, go. Good luck to you, young brother. And hopefully, beyond this media circus that's going to be created around you playing with your dad, then you actually do have a pretty good career, bro. But don't media folks and other folks who might comment, don't paint everybody who has an opposing view some kind of a hater because we don't agree with your silliness. been my opinion. I'm Cosmic. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Blessings. So again, guys, again, I agree, with the perspective taken in this nepotism video during that episode. My views don't change. I'm no hater on, anybody leveraging their celebrity or leveraging their power, to make a thing happen. It is what it is. We all get it. We understand it. It happens, but again, just don't put lipstick on a pig and tell me that it's something different. You know what I mean? So if we all understand that it's nepotism, it is nepotism. You don't have to lie to us or gaslight us into thinking or feeling, that it's something else when we know exactly what it is and when we can see it, obviously. Don't insult our intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So people can get behind the thing in support of it, without you, having to try to lie to us and just get us to believe something that isn't. So again, that was that particular episode. James gang nepotism aside, it's annoying. Moving right along in this series as we take a deeper look into the Bronny files. The next episode and video that I uploaded to this channel was on the subject of Bronny James anyway, was exposing Bronny's narrative of motherfucking lies. You know what I'm saying? And, this was just centered around just the lies being spun by the organization itself. But without further ado, let's jump into this particular episode. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Opinion Stated. I am Cosmic Cadence. Listen, man, I want to spend time in this particular video addressing and exposing the blatant hypocrisy and despicable nature of this narrative, unfair narrative being spun around the Bronny James story and being drafted by the LA Lakers. And if for those of you who don't know, just a few days ago, there was during a media and press introduction press conference for Bronny James and Dalton Connect, their 17th and 55th draft picks in this draft, respectfully. There were just some things that were stated during this particular press conference, rather, that are unfairly, spinning this narrative, for Bronny, and I want to address those things in this particular video. So before I get into my opinion surrounding it, I want you to take a listen to a sound clip, some sound bites from that particular press conference. Let's take a listen to that, and then I'll come back and I will share my opinion.
And then to follow up with Bronny, just that moment, right, where you get the phone call and then you hear your name. Can you take us through the emotions of all of that, of what you were feeling, and then how you've been feeling the last couple of days since?
Yeah, everything's just been surreal. Just trying to take it all in by the days. Extremely, grateful for everything that JJ and Rob have given to me. And I've just been extremely excited to get to work.
With Bronny, I want to clarify one thing you just said, which is Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this, right? Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study one, because his base level of feel, athleticism, point of attack defender, shooting, passing, there's a lot to like about his game. And as we sort of build out our player development program holistically, he's going to have a great opportunity to become an excellent NBA player.
Bronny, how much more pressure is on you playing on a team with your father, and how are you going to handle that pressure?
For sure, amplified amount of pressure. I've already seen it, media and stuff on in the internet and stuff, talking about I might not deserve an opportunity, but I've been dealing with stuff like this for my whole life. So it's nothing different, but it's more amplified for sure. But I can get through it.
James K-Cow, you talked about writing your own story, and I heard your father LeBron talk about that as well, and we see him back here almost allowing you to have your own moment, to write your own story. How would you describe your story right now?
To be honest, just living by the days. Trying not to, care about whatever other people think about me, because there's a lot of people that, have something to say. But yeah, I'm just taking it by the day and staying sane while doing it.
Oy vey. I, first of all, want to say, man, JJ Redick, you are ridiculous. You are ridiculous, bro. And I don't think that the things that you stated about Bronny's potential, and his abilities and your excitement around the things that he presently possesses that are to be, excited about and acknowledge that you guys are excited about, maybe helping to continue to further develop. But this idea, and shout out to Bronny James, this is not any knock on Bronny. I have no problem with this kid. As pure as his intentions are, his excitement, surrounding being drafted into the NBA ultimately and being able to fulfill and live out his dream, I am 100% excited for that portion. But this narrative being spun, man, is not cool. And, to state for him, Bronny James, personally to state, his excitement, or his, not necessarily excitement, but his, genuine position around being grateful for the opportunity that both Rob Pelinka, the GM of the LA Lakers, and also JJ Redick have given him or extended to him. That was genuine, so to take a genuine, I'm appreciative and thank you, and it's very humble, gratitude being displayed to step in front of that, which JJ Redick did not actually have to do. It was unnecessary for him at that point to say, well, let me address this Bronny, what Bronny just said, because we didn't give him anything. Yes, you did. You did, and we all know it. And even Bronny is saying it, bro. Bro, keep it real. Come on. And don't use this space for this kid to actually, as it was stated in there, like, oh, your dad says that he wants you to have your own story, right? And he's, you can see him here presently today, just kind of stepping back, giving you your moment to write your own story. They're robbing this kid. They are robbing Bronny James of an opportunity to actually create a good narrative around his story and to write his own story here. Get out of the way. You guys do not. JJ Redick went out of his way in this press conference to insert himself into this narrative. No, we didn't give him anything. He earned it. Like he did not earn it with his play. He did not earn this opportunity with his play, as other young talent that has come into the league since its inception has done. There has been a standard of players working hard and earning through their play on the college level, or maybe even before, for the high schoolers like his dad who've come in based on their potential, and they've been able to fairly write their own narrative. Man, what they're doing is shameful. It is shameless, and it is unfair to Bronny James. You guys should be grown adults, and I understand that everybody has handlers, especially on this level. But I don't think that they realize like how detrimental this is, because Bronny talked about this amplified level of pressure, that he's under, and the scrutiny and how people like us in the independent media space are talking about it, and everybody's talking about it. But we're not talking about it for the reasons that we should be talking about it, because of the weirdness being done surrounding it by the people in his camp, his dad, his agent, JJ Redick, and the others. Stop it. You guys knock it off, man. This kid deserves the opportunity to write a story, for better or worse, for himself, and not have you guys come in with this weird lies, bold-faced lies, Leave it alone. Shout out to Bronny James, man. Once again, I feel sorry for Bronny, I really do. And again, it's unnecessary to spin a narrative. But what they're doing is that I think that they're doing this thing that is going to unfairly not really give Bronny an opportunity to just succeed or to fail along the way without, undue scrutiny. And they should really be ashamed of themselves as adults, yo. Stop it. Get out of this kid's way, yo. Just allow him to be young Bronny James on his own. You guys don't have to be hypocrites and liars about this situation. So I just wanted to say that, man. And again, I feel sorry for Bronny, man. But I want to thank you guys for tuning into this particular video. My name is Cosmic. I'm your opinionist. Thanks for tuning into Opinion Stated. I'll see you in the next video. Like, share, subscribe. And there we have it again. The lies are unnecessary. You know what I mean? You don't have to spin us. You don't have to spin us, bro. We're not stupid. We're not crazy. You know what I mean? We are watching the same thing. We are watching you, do weird things, listening to the things that you say. We are understanding of what's going on. You don't have to try to paint it as something else. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to necessarily like it, but we can see it and just say, okay, cool, we understand that. But it's the lies around it that just ring utterly ridiculous. And that gets people in the uproar when we're already like, bro, we understand what it is. And you guys are going to do what you want to do anyway. You understand? So don't lie to us is all. So that was that particular episode, exposing Bronny's narrative of lies. It's told by JJ Redick, Rob Pelinka, Bron himself. Just utter ridiculousness. Moving right along in this deeper, look into the Bronny files. I did an episode where I was actually expressing, just genuine concerns. And in this particular episode entitled The Delusional Mind of King James, I wanted to explore the mental health angle for Bronny with all this pressure being put on him, etc. But let's just get right into the episode and let the episode speak for itself. Yo. What's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic once again. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Opinion Stated. Coming at you today just with some opinion-based commentary on King James and, the Bronny situation, with just Bronny being in the league, period. Summer League has just started. The NBA's 2024 Summer League season is underway. And yesterday, Bronny James made his debut in Summer League amongst his peers, those who are fighting for jobs here in the NBA, in the association, and hopeful of making a roster or at least being placed or actually achieving the goal at this point, number one, of being on a roster, or two, receiving a two-way contract to play for a D-League team with the hopes of being called up from the D-League in the event of injury, etc., to one of the players who are actually on the roster. So Bronny James's debut was was interesting. I mean, obviously, the kid only scored 4 points in 22 minutes, I believe it was, or something like that. It obviously, there were other players who shined, 15 points respectively, 17 points, 30 points, etc. Dalton Connect, the 17th draft pick for the LA Lakers, scored 17 points. So I don't think that shining a negative light on Bronny because of a 4-point outing is necessary, because players have good games and players have bad games, or not so good games. Some players outshine other players all the time. You know what I mean? So that's nothing new. That's nothing to actually be noteworthy. So I'm not going to spend time in this video doing that. I want to highlight comments from LeBron James in a press conference afterwards, where he just kind of spoke and revealed this level of delusion. So I want to focus on that. I'm going to play the sound clip, the sound bite from that particular interview, and then I'll come back and I'll offer my opinions.
With my son, obviously, it's a dream come true for me. To see my son, to be able to, be in the NBA alone. I mean, it's always been a dream of his, and for us to be side by side, there's a lot of words of loss, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, the kid has worked so hard to get back to this point. And there's just so much has happened over the last year with him. To have this happen less than a year from his incident to be with our friends and our family. When they announced his name, it was something that was super surreal, and it's kind of still super. Our family still don't even have enough words to explain the feeling that we had. He's just such a great kid, and I'm looking forward to seeing his progression and him continue to get better and better. As he continues to grow as a young man. He's 19 years old, so he has so much room for improvement. One, I just hope just get his feet wet with the NBA. The pace of the game, the speed of the game, the physicality of the game. But what he does in the California Classic and Summer League, it doesn't matter if he plays well, and it doesn't matter if he doesn't play well. I just want him to continue to grow. Practices, film sessions, his individual workouts. You can't take anything from, like, as far as stat-wise, from California Classic and Summer League and bring it to once the season starts. So, the only thing that matters is him getting better and stacking days. He missed a big part of the season last year because of the incident less than a year ago. So he's behind as far as where he would have been if he would have played a full season, obviously.
This level of delusion. Yo. So again, this idea that it's just so surreal hearing his name called. My family is still at a loss, you know what I mean, of words. And, just what that felt like. I think two things can be true. They could have been very excited for Bronny. I don't think that that's a lie. You know what I mean? Like, the family was excited. It was a dream of both LeBrons, as he mentioned. The first thing, like, it's a dream come true for me. Wait, not just for me, but for my son also. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that can be true. That can be genuine, right? The delusion comes in realistically with the notion that somehow this is just such a surreal feeling for us, and man, it's finally happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, this is something when you were personally responsible for pulling the strings to make the thing happen. It's like, get out of the Luluville. You made it happen, bro. Of course it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like you guys were sitting along as a family after planning a private viewing party for the draft to, hope with your fingers crossed that some team will be willing to pick up this kid, using one of these second round draft picks when you knew full well that it was going to happen. The delusion, man, is so grandiose that it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been a great story to tell, and it would have hit a lot different if you hadn't pulled strings to get the kid in the league. That would be totally different, bro. But be for real. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to address that. And then secondarily, another thing that was shared was, this notion that, like somehow, you know what I mean? Like, what happens in the California Classic or in Summer League in terms of stats, et cetera, man, that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Just like the college stats didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. What only matters is that he actually improves. Again, I think that two things can be true. It can be true. Obviously that the kid is only 19 years old and he has so much room for growth, which is why I'm excited about the kid playing in the league to begin with. But secondarily, the stats do matter, and how he plays actually does matter, right? This excuse that I feel like that was even perpetuated by him, where it's like, he's a little behind based on, you know what I mean, like missing time and missing the games based on this incident. This incident can't continue to be used as an excuse. LeBron James Jr. had a cardiac situation, which we are all compassionate about. Happy to see him get back, to playing ball and not being hampered or having his dream put on hold long term, or being unreachable long term because of ongoing health issues related to that incident. There were no ongoing issues related to that incident that kept him out of play last season. It was literally the doctors taking precautions to make sure, but there were no actual health issues that would have prevented him from doing so, right? So you have to be careful in how you bring him along. And they were certainly careful in doing so. But the reason that this cannot continually be used, in my opinion, as an excuse for him being a little behind, as LeBron James said, where he would have been had he played a full season. The USC Trojans last season played 33 games. They were 15-18. If I'm not mistaken, I can be fact checked. You can let me know if I'm off. 15-18, which means they played, by my calculation, 33 games last season as a team. Bronny James participated in 25 of the 33 games, which by my calculation means he only missed 8 games. If you're going to suggest to me that only 8 games are the reason, 8 games missed are the reason that he's behind where he would have been if only 8 more games were played, I'm going to call bullshit. BS, bro. This kid's been playing ball his whole life, just about. Right? he had a whole high school career to play. You know what I mean? He still had 25 games. 25 games, a significant chunk of the season last year to play, and he only averaged 4.8 points a game, bro. The 8 games weren't going to make that much of a difference in terms of his improvement. This player development that you guys are willing to engage in with him is noble, but you can't keep using that as an excuse. The stats do matter. How he plays really does matter. It all matters, bro. So get out of this delusional weirdness. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like to hear it because it just sounds ridiculous. It sounds really silly. And King James needs to be, needs to do better. Man, I know that there are so many of you, like, LeBron can do no wrong. You don't see a problem with any of this. All this video and all the videos that I've made so far have been a reach. Now, I haven't been reaching in any of them. I am literally basing my opinion in this commentary on what is being stated, what I'm hearing and what I'm observing. And if I sense bullshit, I'm going to call it out. Tighten up, LeBron. You know what I mean? Tighten up, bro. It doesn't have to be like this. There's no surreal thing that this kid was drafted when you pulled the strings to get him drafted. Let the surrealness go. It's going to be exciting to play with your son. I feel you on that, bro, 100%. But let this fake, like you didn't know it was going to happen. You made it happen. So, of course, it was going to happen. And, just stop bringing up this cardiac issue if it's not a lingering issue. It's not a lingering thing, bro. You don't have to keep reaching back to it and trying to make it significant. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things. But we can't use his stats and actual play from last year as significant. Got to pick a struggle, bro. Which one's it going to be? So those are just my opinions around the situation. Again, I am not a Bronny James hater. I know his jersey sales are doing so incredible right now. I'm going to contribute to the jersey. One of these days, I'm going to come on here wearing a Bronny James jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan of anybody pursuing their dream, man, and fighting hard for it. So I'm excited for that portion of it. You know what I mean? But it's just all the fluff around it, that's just driving me crazy, man. So I just want people to keep it real. We can root for you, understanding that you got a leg up, but we don't have to pretend that you didn't get a leg up. We can still root for it. We can still root for Bronny. You know what I mean? Without Dad, who already pulled strings, acting as though somehow this is just like such a shock and a surprise. Like, it's just ridiculous, bro. So that has been my opinion. You are tuned into Opinion Stated. Thank you guys so much. If you like the content, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Blessings. And so again, self-explanatory. My views remain the same. In that particular episode, The Delusional Mind of King James, where I just pointed out that LeBron should be ashamed of himself, just for kind of the way that he's handling the thing instead of just being honest and just being forthcoming. But moving right along, in this series of taking a deeper look into the Bronny files, I kind of went deeper, with the mental health aspect. And, that particular episode is entitled The Concern and Price of Bronny's Mental Health. And let's let the episode speak for itself, and then, we'll come back afterwards. Let's take a look. Yo! What's good, everybody? I want to welcome you back to my channel, Opinion Stated. I am Cosmic, and this particular video I want to get into what I feel like is the concern and price of Bronny James Jr.'s mental health. Something that I haven't heard spoken about at all in the mainstream media, and not that anybody hasn't done so. I just haven't heard anybody actually speaking to it. And I've heard just one individual who doesn't, underscore everybody and doesn't encapsulate everybody who's actually speaking in the independent media space. But I want to get to those comments, etc. here, and actually just talk about it in this video. So before I do so, a few days ago, there was an interview released by ESPN, done with Dave McMenamin and one LeBron James, where he actually spoke about Bronny James and gave us a little bit of insight because we haven't heard it from apparently or supposedly from Bronny himself about Bronny and Bronny's level of care to the scrutiny and criticism and or ridicule. So let's hear from LeBron James.
Between the lines, to some extent, basketball is going to take care of itself.
Yeah,
for
for
Bronny.
sure.
But outside of those lines, he's starting to have some of the same arrows slung at him that you had when you were a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to take for him to withstand that?
I don't know if people really understand Bronny. He doesn't care. I actually cared a little bit when I came in. I wanted people to like me, and some of the things that people were saying about me, it kind of bothered me early on in my career. I let it get to me. Bronny doesn't give a He doesn't. Bronny plays, he works his tail off. When he's done, he goes home and plays his video game. He does not care about nobody. He doesn't even listen to that stuff. He's like the complete opposite of his dad. His dad will say something.
Yeah.
Bronny does not care. Like me.
Bron. Okay. I know many people would listen to the video might say, well, who knows better, their son than a father, right? So I'm not going to suggest that LeBron James doesn't know his son. Of course he knows his son. Of course he's had, conversations, in-depth conversations, has had the opportunity to watch this kid grow and develop and contribute to his growth and development, not only as a man, but as a young basketball player over the years. And he's privy to way more information in terms of mindset, mentality, and that sort of a thing overall. But to suggest that Bronny doesn't care is, I think, interesting to say the least. And based on what I have heard, this is not a LeBron James slander video. This is not a Bronny slander video, but just based on what I've heard from Bronny himself, LeBron and Bronny are not on the same page. You don't know what I'm talking about? Let's hear from Bronny James himself on his level of care.
Bill Plaschke, Los Angeles Times. This is for Bronny. How much more pressure is on you playing on a team with your father, and how are you going to handle that pressure?
It's for sure the amplified amount of pressure. I've already seen it, stuff media and stuff in the internet and stuff talking about I might not deserve an opportunity, but I've been dealing with stuff like this for my whole life. So it's nothing different, but it's more amplified for sure. But I can get through it.
This is for Bronny, Darren Haynes, KCAL. You talked about writing your own story, and I heard your father, LeBron, talk about that as well. And we see him back here almost allowing you to have your own moment to write your own story. How would you describe your story right now?
To be honest, just living by the days, trying not to, care about whatever other people think about me, because there's a lot of people that, have something to say. But yeah, I'm just taking it by the day and staying sane while doing it.
That was Bronny himself, speaking about trying to stay sane through the process of his growth. And so that doesn't sound like the same thing that his dad, LeBron James Sr., actually stated. So all I'm saying is, man, the math ain't mathing. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to give credence to the importance of the concern for his mental health. Me as an adult, I'm 47 years old at this point of this video, and I've gone through successes and failures in life. I know what failure can do to help to shape us. I know what it's done to help shape me as a man in this lifetime. And so I understand the importance of what that can do for us, but I also understand, man, that it can be brutal, and the ridicule and scrutiny of others can be brutal, and I know that it can do numbers on a person's mental health. And I only hope that Bronny is strong enough to overcome, the ridicule and the close scrutiny, the magnifying glass being placed on him. And being put under a microscope with his every move and at every stage of his development. That is my only hope and concern. And you don't have to take my word for it, because on that level, I have not failed in life on an NBA level, despite my growing up with hoop dreams, right? And playing basketball, on a level that I would have hoped would have gotten me, into college. And I did have many offers to go to college to play, but then beyond college being the next level of the NBA. So I cannot relate to failing on that level. But I do know somebody who can. So I want to introduce the opinion and the insights of somebody who actually did. That being #1 overall draft pick by the Washington Wizards in 2001, Kwame Brown. Kwame knows better than anybody on kind of what this process can do to a man. And so let's hear from Kwame.
Your son, this doesn't make any sense. We all can see, and everybody that's talking about nepotism just because he black, we cool on that. But you got to talk about this kid mental health. The world is going to be talking about this boy, the whole world, and a lot of you don't know what that's like. This is a teenage kid that's going to have the whole world talking about him all because his daddy. Now, he should have let that man mature a little bit more so he could be ready for this. I know all too well what it's like having the world talk about you. It's cool to have money. It's cool to have all that, but respect, that's way better. So LeBron set this kid up for failure because he's a nice kid and everybody going to hate him off top just because how much money he got. And right now, LeBron's statue can protect him. His status can protect him. But when LeBron is out the league, boy, it's all she wrote. So this is a shame. I'm jealous of Bronny? Would I be jealous of Bernie? He finna have the world talking about him. I had the world talking about me already. And sometimes I still do every time I say something that you don't like. So make it go viral. But the truth of the matter is, I'm right. This man, LeBron, care more about his legacy, and he's going to leave his son out to dry. And this boy is going to be the only one have to deal with this ridicule that he's going to have to deal with. He's not ready to be an NBA player. He don't even have the mentality of the dog to be an NBA player. He ain't. I don't see any courage. I don't see anything he's fighting for. What is he fighting for?
I mean, it speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only concern. Again, that was my purpose for this particular video, and I kind of want to talk about that and just making sure that there is legit and genuine concern, given to what this process can actually do to this young man. And you know what I mean? Again, I'm team Bronny James, man. I'm hoping for the best for the young man. I'm hoping that he can overcome all these obstacles put in his way. Many brought on by, being elevated into this position of being placed on an NBA roster already, the $7.9 million contract, 3 years guaranteed, and this guaranteed money, being elevated into this position that, quite frankly, he did not earn through his play in the NBA, but all power to him. And I hope that he can make and absolutely maximize this opportunity as given to him. But I also wanted to offer a different perspective here in this particular video. I was wondering, amidst reports that were made days after Bronny being drafted, which were that, Bronny James's #9 jersey in the NBA or has become the #1 selling jersey, shattering records, previous records set by one LeBron James Sr., his dad, and also Michael Jordan, just within days. And so I have some stats that I kind of want to run just so that we can kind of take a look at it to add a little more perspective here. According to Investopia.com, the jersey patch program was launched in 2016, and on average, the advertisements on the jerseys have netted teams $9.3 million annually. The early success led the NBA to extend the program in early 2019. Up to that point, the NBA had earned in excess of $150 million in new revenue. According to NBCNews.com, NBA players enjoy about a 50-50 split of so-called basketball-related revenues like broadcast money and jersey sales with owners. According to the Daily Scrum News.com, in a historic turn of events, Bronny James, son of NBA legend LeBron James, has set a new record for jersey sales following his draft by the Los Angeles Lakers. Within days of the announcement, over 500,000 jerseys bearing his name and number were sold, shattering his father's previous record. And lastly, according to Fanatics, Bronny James' #9 Fanatics Gold 2024 NBA Draft Fast Break costs $79.99, with a youth jersey in that version going for $59.99. So again, with that, my only purpose for introducing that particular data was to underscore a point. And again, this is as I'm talking about not only the concern for his mental health, but also the price. Can we put a price tag on Bronny's mental health? And at this point, I feel like a price tag has been put on his mental health. That being what I referenced, the aforementioned $7.9 million contract that he signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. And, then I was, that report of his jersey sales doing so well, kind of made me wonder. I was like, man, I wonder what the breakdown is. Is there a percentage paid out to NBA players? And I'm certain that there is, but I just hadn't actually done the research. And this, kind of prompted me to do the research. And so upon doing that research to find out, that there is a revenue sharing, process and program set up, it then led me to kind of do some math, so as we saw from the data presented, there were some 500,000, 500,000 jerseys sold within days. And I'm sure that number has climbed to, to much higher numbers since. So I just did the math, based on an $80 jersey sale, which, the data suggested, and that 500,000 number, and that's over $40 million already in jersey revenue sales. If there's a legit 50-50 split to be given, actually has or is in position to earn some $20 million, upwards of $20 million in revenue split. So kudos to him and shout out to him, for the money that he'll make in endorsements from jersey sales, etc. The millions and millions and millions of dollars that he'll make or that he stands to make, but this money, going to be worth the price of his overall mental health, man. And I just really hope that it is. Again, I hope that he, does rise above the expectation and he's able to have an incredible NBA career, but at what cost, in the event that it does not happen. So, those are just my insights. That has been my opinion stated. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. I just wanted to share that information. Do with it what you will. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, share, subscribe. And this was actually, I said the last one was my favorite, but this was probably definitely my favorite in the series. Just again, just making sure that, the young brother's okay, man. I'm genuinely pulling for him. I know a lot of you out there are. There are a lot of you who, want to see him fail just because of, the way that things were done, which, hopefully you guys shift that energy around rooting for himself. I always tell people, that the secret to wealth is praying for other people. Everything you pray for yourself. So if you start praying hate and failure and destruction on other people, be careful, because that vibration going out there, man, it's going to come back to you. So yeah, go Bronny, go. And hopefully, bro, you keep that mental strong, and don't worry about so much, which is very hard to do for a young man developing and chartering out in life the way that you are at this stage, and especially taking on a job in a national and international spotlight. We're pulling for you, brother. So if you haven't already, just as a reminder, once again, please subscribe to the channel, like this video as well, click that notification bell to be notified as to when my newest videos are uploaded. And let's keep this train going. We are literally today taking a deeper look into the Bronny files. And, this next episode, came on the heels of Bronny finally having a decent showing in the 2024 Summer League, NBA Summer League. So that particular episode, or this particular episode that we're about to get into, is entitled "Hoop Hoop Hooray" for Bronny James. Let's let the episode speak for itself, and we'll come back. Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic. I want to welcome you back to my channel, Opinion Stated. Very, very fun episode, I want to say today. Very insightful, fun, unfiltered and real too. This particular episode, I am titling "Hoop Hoop Hooray" for Bronny James. Subject of much scrutiny over the last couple months, perhaps over the last couple years. And, if you ask him in his 18, 19 years of existence, his entire life. For those who have been keeping up, clearly, with the Bronny James saga over the years, sought out to be a basketball player himself as a young man, and, had a very, hyped basketball career as a high school player, coming in with much fanfare, etc. When I say hype, kind of social media sensation, etc. To a ton of followers, etc. And just all kinds of write-ups in magazines and subject of many articles written in newspapers or blogs, and the subject of a lot of conversation pertaining to his potential to make it make it as a pro. And as time has gone on, you do know that, and we all know that, his dad, LeBron James Sr., spared no opportunity to let everybody know that he himself was very interested in playing with his son, or at least, entertaining the notion and the idea, of playing with his son on a professional level. And so, that when initially, spoken about, wasn't something that I don't think publicly people were, or even privately, people were like, oh, that would be a horrible thing. God forbid that should happen. Let's do everything we can to stop that from happening. No, quite the contrary. I think that, for me, especially, my initial thought was like, man, hopefully this kid actually, it lives up to the hype and, shows himself to be good enough to actually make it to the next level. And that's because, for as long as I've been watching the sport, especially, professional basketball, and, on the college level as well, I grew up playing basketball. So, at every level there, was a bit of a merit to the thing. So, basketball was always treated like a meritocracy. There were tryouts, and, if you were good enough, you made the team. And, when it came to, elitist activities like all-star games, etc., if you were good enough, meaning statistically, or whatever the criteria, call for, you were one of the ones, then you got in. And it was a prestige and an honor to play, in these particular games, etc., or to make it, to the next level, being from junior high school to high school to high school to college into the pros, local or, domestic, foreign or domestic, right? So, as time has gone on, obviously, LeBron's narrative or his interest, he just kind of waned from it. Like, oh, well, maybe, priority playing with my son is not really there. Although he had also said that, man, wherever his son comes into the league and signs, that's where you can find him, because he was just that serious about playing, with his son. And again, that was okay. Nobody kind of shunned it, or just thought that it wasn't a good idea. The problem came in when, all of a sudden, in my opinion, there was this backing away from, the initial statements. And then there was this kind of underpinning of, strings being pulled in order to make the thing happen. Despite, everybody seeing that Bronny in college at USC didn't quite measure up, even playing against his peers statistically. And statistics do mean something. You know what I mean? They mean a lot. And so either way, this particular show, I just kind of wanted to talk just a little bit about, certain things, along those lines. And, as you can see here on the screen, I have done my fair share on this channel, this Opinion Stated channel, of Bronny James videos, where I've actually, spoken about, Bronny in a lot of different, I would guess say kind of nuanced ways. None to poke fun at him, none to ridicule him, none to drag him, or anything like that. But again, he's been the subject of much scrutiny after being drafted 17 overall into the league by the LA Lakers, the team that his dad actually plays for. The scrutiny that has come, in a lot of ways is not fair. I don't think that it's just out of nowhere or because people's expectations are that Bronny James is going to be his dad. I don't think it's that at all. I think it's for the reason that I mentioned, number one, with LeBron stating, one, that he was interested in playing with his son and had a desire to do so, which is noble, in fact. But then, you get all these kind of strings being pulled. But before the strings were pulled to actually get him into the league, maybe unworthily, you had LeBron posting tweets like, man, Bronny definitely better than some of these cats I've been watching on League Pass today. Shit, lightweight hilarious. Laughing emojis. And I think that when those kinds of statements are made, obviously, they shine a different kind of a light. And, for better or worse. And it's not because we're just like, like Bronny's not. We haven't really had a chance to evaluate him against the talent that LeBron was watching on League Pass. And so everybody who makes it to this level ain't a LeBron James, meaning the NBA professional basketball level, but these guys are professional basketball players. And they have one of 450 or so elite jobs in that particular industry, being the NBA. So these are the best of the best, man. These ain't just no people walking off the street, no guy who was on the bus talking about he could play and somebody signed him to a contract. Like, it's real. You know what I mean? These guys can really play. And at some level, they were a star playing in whatever league or whatever capacity, they were playing in order to get a nod, even to get as far as an NBA roster. So just with respect to that, I think that is why people begin to scrutinize him, because they're like, yo, let us see it. He's better than these cats, then let's see. And there was also a statement made, last season that apparently LeBron said to his teammates, like, man, or said publicly, Bronny's better than some of his teammates, even, who are professional basketball players, while he was still at USC in college, averaging less than 5 points a game. So those kinds of things rub people the wrong way. And, without Bronny actually saying it, I think that Bron painted a target on Bronny that wasn't fair. Wasn't fair for Bronny. It's like, you know what I mean? Your little brother or little sister or even your dad in this case, you know what I mean? Saying, yeah, say something else, and I'll go get my son on you, and your son sitting back like, yo, I don't want no smoke. I was just trying to chill. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's kind of what he did to him. Not only that, but you know what I mean? A lot of the criticism has also come not just from LeBron, so we won't solely blame it on him, his handlers, Bronny's handlers being Rich Paul, his agent, or anything of the sort. But also from individuals like this, like Magic Johnson, who congratulated Bronny on the day of being drafted by saying congratulations to Bronny on being drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. This is a historic moment because LeBron and Bronny are the first father-son duo to play in the NBA at the same time and on the same team. Watching Bronny suit up for the LA Lakers, or for the Lakers, during Summer League in Vegas will be must-see TV. Oh, will it? Okay, then let's tune in and see. And instead, what people were being met with through Bronny's Summer League play, early Summer League play was, what was there to see? And because Bronny didn't necessarily play well, you know what I mean? What happened was people just began to scrutinize. They're picking this guy's game apart or picking him apart, you know what I mean, at every phase. Let me be clear in saying it is not fair to anybody, yo, to have at every stage of their growth and development, scrutiny and ridicule, and to be judged so harshly as they are simply attempting to grow. Like, nobody deserves that kind of scrutiny. And, certainly not Bronny in this case, but you know what I mean? He was the butt of a lot of jokes and the victim of a lot of scrutiny. And, you know what I mean? Unfair to him, in my opinion. But let's take a look at some of Bronny's Summer League game stats. And this is a Summer League game log. What we see on July the 6th, Bronny scored 4 points in his very first game, 2 of 9 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 turnovers in 22 minutes, and a loss during the California Classic. On July the 7th, he sat out the second game after he just, or just kind of got, I want to say, dragged on social media, you know what I mean? And in general, you know what I mean, because of his lackluster performance in the first game. He sat out the second game with knee swelling. Many, you know what I mean, suggested that somehow he was being protected. They didn't want him to have another poor showing, being his handlers, the team, et cetera. And, it was what it was. On July the 10th, he played in his second summer league game, scored 3 points on 1 and 3 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and that was in 29 minutes of play. His third game, he scored 8 points on 3 of 14 shooting, so he took more shots, 0 of 8 from 3. He was jacking up the threes and just blowing them. 5 boards he had, those 0 assists, 3 turnovers in 27 minutes of play. And then on July 15th, he had 2 points on 1 of 5 shooting, 0 for 3 from 3 with 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers in 25 minutes of play. So the minutes weren't the issue. It was just kind of what was happening with the minutes. We see that in one game he shot 9 shots. Another game he shot 3 shots. Another game he shot 14 shots. Another game he took 5 shots. I don't necessarily think that Bronny was taking bad shots. I saw him get up a lot of good shots, save the air balls. I'm certain somebody will be, you know what I mean, either thinking it or in the comments talking about, you know what I mean, oh, he was throwing up them air balls. What about them bricks? And if you're a shooter, man, you understand, like, every shot ain't a swish. Every shot don't hit the rim. If you are a basketball player and you can tell me that you never shot an air ball, I'll be able to easily identify that you are a fucking liar. It's impossible, bro. So you're going to put up some shots that aren't necessarily the prettiest shots or, you know what I mean, the most accurate. It's just going to happen. So I think that, you know what I mean, the slump in the space that he found himself in, you know, obviously whether that was mental or whether that was just because he was working through the jitters or whether that was because, you know, the game had been, you know, all of a sudden kind of moving at a faster pace than he was used to or prepared for, whatever it was. It was quite frankly, man, it was tough to watch. Tough to watch. But, oh, man, in these last 2 games that he's played here in the Summer League in Vegas on the 17th of July, just a few days ago, Bronny finally had a bit of a breakout game where he scored 12 points. You know what I mean? Much, much better. 4 points higher than he had scored so far this summer in any one individual game. But on 5 of 11 shooting, so more efficient. Shooting 2 of 5 from 3. So he finally hit a 3-pointer knockdown, 2 of them after, I believe, starting out 0 for 15. So, you know what I mean? Finally, he was 2 for 20 from 3, which is better than 0 for, you know what I mean? He had 1 rebound in that game, 0 assists, 1 turnover. So that game was mostly just about kind of him getting out of his shooting slump. Shot just under 50% from the field in 24 minutes of play. And the Lakers actually won that game. And then last night, you know, another really, really good game for Bronny, you know, comparative to the other games where he scored 13 points on 5 of 10 shooting, so 50% from the field with his 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 3 turnovers. And so just 2 decent games these last 2 outings in Summer League against his peers. You know what I mean? Congratulations to Bronny James, man. Look, give the brother his flowers. You know what I mean? I just think that it was necessary for me to do this video just to say, man, go Bronny, go. And this has been my position for Bronny the entire way, man. I'm rooting for the kid. You know what I mean? Whether I think that he should have gotten the opportunity or not, whether I agree with how, you know what I mean, the strings were pulled to get him into a Laker uniform, to get him a guaranteed contract. He's got 7.9 million reasons to succeed. And I'm pulling for him. I'm rooting for him. You know, but before I treat these last 2 Summer League games like they're the world, I'm just going to take a giant step back and allow myself to be reminded that his dad LeBron James, on Bronny's debut said, well, you can't take anything stat-wise from Summer League. LeBron also said that Bronny's Summer League stats don't matter. So before I get all high on the stats from the last 2 games, you know what I mean, and maybe start crowning Bronny next up and all of that stuff, which is not my intention here. I just want to say that I'm happy to see the young brother break out of a slump. You know, but I want to make a point that I made in a previous video regarding Bronny, you know, when just to that comment of LeBron's, when the stats do matter. The stats matter because the stats matter to the shooter, to the player. You know what I mean? So getting yourself and having something positive to hang your hat on is important. You know what I mean? So you can't just say like, oh, he went 0 for 48 in the Summer League and somehow mentally and emotionally he's going to be good as the training camp starts and the season starts and all that stuff. That weight of, you know what I mean, 0 for, man, like follows you around. It carries you. It can anchor you. And so I'm just happy to see him break out of a slump, you know what I mean, to a degree, and to put together decent games, I'll say, in these last two. But you know what I mean? Like, if you don't hear, my logic and my logical way of thinking about what just took place in these last two games, even as I give Bronny his flowers, man, listen, I think that the mainstream media is also the reason why, a lot of the scrutiny is taking place. So like I said, it's not just LeBron, it's not just Bronny's handlers, it's not just haters. You know what I mean? It's because of how the ESPN coverage and, you know what I mean, these highlight reels going around and like all kinds of things are just happening. You know what I mean? Surrounding like 2 points, 4 points scored. I saw a literal highlight reel from a game where he only had 2 points scored, and they were like highlighting his deflections in the game and all kinds of weird stuff. I was like, bro, what is going on here? And so I think that we have to be careful. This is literally just a small sample size of what I'm talking about. But Bronny James puts on another stellar Lakers show at NBA Summer League. You know what I mean? Like, man, 13 points is stellar. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? We don't have to overhype and overblow everything. You know what I mean? I'm saying Adonis Arms dropped 31 on the Lakers in the California Classic. Young player for Sacramento. Sacramento's summer league team. And if 13 is stellar, then what is 31? You know what I'm saying? Like, according to Yahoo Sports in the same graphic here, Bronny is on fire, making his first career three-pointer in the NBA. Two things wrong with this statement. Number one, it's a lie. You know what I mean? He's not on fire because he hit one shot or he hit two threes. You know what I mean? Like, calm down. Two, it's a lie because the summer league trades don't count toward his NBA career. You know what I mean? The stats matter, but they don't matter. They matter to the shooter, but they don't matter to his actual career statistics. So calm down. And again, this is just an example of how overhyping a thing can turn people off. And so I just want everybody to slow down, man. Pump your brakes. Congratulations, Bronny. Keep going, little bro. Man, I'm here for you. A lot of people are pulling for you, man. You know what I mean? We're wishing you the best, bro. And so hopefully you'll continue to, improve and get better. And that's all, it sounds like you want for yourself. If I had to give you any advice, bro, I would say definitely define a why. A why. The reason why you're actually doing this. Now that it was stated that you spoke to your agent, Rich Paul, and he asked you, what was the ultimate goal for you? And you said the ultimate goal was to hear your name called. Well, your name's already been called in the draft, right? You've already received a guaranteed 4-year contract. It's time to, upgrade that reason why. And hopefully that reason why for you becomes because you definitely want to make a name for yourself, as we've heard you say before, and because you definitely want to succeed, bro, because we all want to see you succeed. So that has been my video. Once again, man, hoop, hoop, hooray for Bronny James. My name is Cosmic. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Opinion Stated. I'm out of here until the next video. Blessing. And so once again, hoop, hoop, hooray for Bronny James. You know what I mean? Glad that he finally, was able to kind of put together a really good outing. And, as I said before, for those who play the game, you understand that, man, you get good games and you get bad games, you get a string sometimes of bad games that really, have nothing to do with your ability. They just, it's just the ball just doesn't go down all the time. And so I was happy to see him, finally get a good game under his belt, and not for any other reason, or if, for no other reason than to help it, build upon his confidence and to give him something to hang his hat on, so that he could, take that through the rest of the summer season, where he'll be training extensively, of course, in preparation for the mini camp, to come, and to get him, connected with the team and to do his thing in training camp, etc., leading into this particular NBA season. So, again, I know one of the things that he expressed for himself, or the desire that he had for himself, was just to continue to get better. He said that he was looking forward to playing basketball on any level. So whether that is, being with the actual Laker team, or whether that's, playing with their G League affiliate, he's excited about, getting the reps and getting a chance to just improve. And so we're certainly looking forward to, I know for certain, just seeing what kind of a player he develops into. I'm not expecting him to be a perennial all-star. If that happens, man, that would be phenomenal. But again, I'm just rooting for him overall. And, you know, I guess it remains to be seen. Bring on the 2024-2025 NBA season. Let's get this thing going, man. A lot of teams. If you haven't checked out my other videos on my page, I actually did a video where I did a 2024-2025 premature predictions episode. So be sure to check that one out. And, you know, until the next video, subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell to be notified as to when the next episode is up. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Blessings.